Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler review series videos we do for a little while. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. We're about to try out a sandwich of ultimate proportions. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, excuse me, I'm around about for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I like to highlight super cool shirt. Damn it. So what super cool shirt am I wearing today? Boom, it's my Godhead shirt. Well, the shadow realigned shirt. Which is, this is their album cover for this particular album. Which was a remix of another album theirs called The Shadow Line. Sadly, this is the last piece of music that ever came out from them. By the way, they were a industrial metal / rock band that existed for quite a while. From the 90s into the 2000s. I think maybe even early 2010s. I'm a huge fan of their work. I so wish that they were still doing stuff. Thankfully, their lead singer, Jason Charles Miller, he is still going over there and performing, creating new music, albeit of a very different variety, more of the southern rock variety these days. But you know what? I mean, the guy is a fantastic musician, and, I'll fucking follow what he does, man. I've actually been fortunate enough got to see Godhead perform once. It was one of my first concerts. It was my, I think, fourth. I believe it was my fourth concert. It, to this day, resonates in my heart as being quite possibly my favorite concert of all time. I absolutely loved the whole thing of it, which is just fantastic. Sadly, I don't have any videos of that because that was in, 2006 or something like that? Well, yeah, smartphones didn't even exist. So, but I do have some videos of Jason Charles Miller, of his performance that I've attended. They're on this channel just in case you're interested. Like I said, if you enjoy kind of southern rock stuff, that's what he does these days. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, like I said, it's an ultimate sandwich because it's from Jimmy John's. This specifically is their ultimate porker sub sandwich, which cost me $8.29. Consists of smoked ham, applewood smoked bacon, Hellman's mayo, lettuce, and tomato. Now, all that said, folks, I do have to preface it with three things. With this being a sub sandwich review, number one, for over a year now, I've been going on sub sandwich adventures. I have been scouring my local area, hitting up basically every place that sells sub sandwiches, whether it's Walmart, whether it's chain locations, proper delis, you name it. If there's a sub sandwich that I can buy and review, that's what I've been doing. Number two, if you enjoy my sub sandwich reviews, thank you very much. But on top of that, if you want them all in one convenient location, well, guess what? I've already got you covered. I have an entire playlist called Subs for Subs, and that is just my sub sandwich reviews. So if you want more sub sandwich goodness, you can head there. But if that's not enough, just wait till Sunday. Why? Because Sunday is SUBday. That is the day when I go over there and I upload my sub sandwich reviews. You're going to get typically at least two of them. I had one day where I had to do one, and that's just because I forgot that it was Sunday. I literally went the whole day thinking it was Saturday. And when I finally realized, I was like, crap, and I had to upload one real quick. But aside from that one mix up, you're going to get at least two typically, sometimes three, sometimes four. It depends on how many of these I'm trying to unload. Now, all that said, let's get to some sub sandwich goodness from Jimmy John's. I mean, I had to get this. It's called the fucking ultimate porker sandwich. So let's go ahead, take the sandwich. Let's get ourselves a nice little, which is going to be the best way. Ha 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 ha. Sure. Let's try out a sub sandwich. And it's called the ultimate porker sandwich. I had to try it. One thing I will say about Jimmy John's, their bread has grown on me a little bit. I've reviewed a few things from Jimmy John's. I've always given their bread shit. And while I don't think it's as good, anywhere near as good, as some of the other ones, like some of the other like really proper chain locations, like your what is it? Like your your Penn Station East Coast Subs, even like your Potbellies. What's the other one? I can't think of the name of it. Jersey Mike's. Theirs is more of a fast food variety. You know, like it's a little bit more uniform. But I've kind of grown on it a little bit. Or rather, it's kind of grown on me a little bit. I can appreciate the fact, like, there's no frills to it, but it's not a terrible sub sandwich bread. Like, it's firm on the outside, soft on the inside. That's really what you want. Anything else is just kind of, you know, extra. Jimmy John's isn't about extra. They're a fast food sub place. They're a little bit better than Subway, but they're not trying to really be proper and premium. And that's okay. There's a place for that. I'll be honest with you. This isn't a half bad sub. I think it kind of plays to Jimmy John's favor. Because a lot of sub places, you know, again, like the better ones, you're trying to get something a little bit special out of it. You know, they have a lot of neat subs and stuff like that. Especially if you go to Jersey Mike's. You can get it Mike's way, and, you know, they have all these options for you. They're trying to create a little bit more of a premium experience. With Jimmy John's, they're not trying to do that. They're trying to get you a sub, they're trying to get it to you fast, and they're trying to get you out the door. And in that regard, they do a good job. I got both of my subs probably less than 5 minutes. I've definitely waited far longer for subs at other places. So I'll give them that much. But what this particular sub does well is there's really no frills to it. It's just bacon, ham, lettuce, tomato, mayo. That's all the fuck it is, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. As long as you're using okay ingredients, it should work. And in this instance, it's like, yeah, this kind of works. The bacon is a little bit... I wouldn't say it has a shit ton of flavor. But there is some. You know, the bacon is probably the weakest part, if I'm honest with you. It almost acts more as just like a textural thing and kind of a little extra salty seasoning. It really doesn't have like a strong bacon flavor. But everything else that's here is pretty much classic sub sandwich stuff. And it honestly works nicely. I mean, are there better versions of this sub out there? Absolutely. Because again, I don't think Jimmy John's is trying to be the best version of any sub. They're not trying to compete quality-wise. They're just trying to, you know what I mean? They're doing what they need to do. I think they're still better than Subway, typically. But it's like, hey, can we go over there and throw some ham, some bacon, some lettuce, tomato, and some mayo on a sub and make it taste pretty good? Yes, we can. Can we do that quickly? Yes, we can. There you go. And it tastes good. Like, there is a lot to be said for just a simple sub. One of my favorite sub sandwiches, if you watch, you know, it's a roast beef sub. Roast beef sub is a good sub sandwich where there's not a lot of frills. That's definitely the case with this one. And again, I think it really plays well to Jimmy John's, the things that they do well, their strengths. Now, all that said, though, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I mean, yes, and yeah, kind of, yeah. I think for me, what I've learned about trying all these different sub sandwich places is that it really is, like, every single one of them is trying to hit their own piece of the market. And there's certain overlap, of course, because, you know, it's sub sandwich stuff. But there are different demographics that they're aiming for. And with Jimmy John's, again, they're trying to get it out the door. They're trying to go over there and give you that quick experience. And there is something to that. Do they have to make sacrifices to make that happen? I personally think they do. I don't think that they have the best quality subs, but I also don't think that they're terrible quality subs. And when they can go over there and get one like this, where it just is simple and it can taste pretty good, I'm willing to give them that. I am 100% willing to give them that. And I think if just, even though I don't go to Jimmy John's really unless I'm doing these reviews, I think if I was in the area and going to a Jimmy John's, this would maybe be one that I would pick up, because there is, again, a lot to be said for just a nice, simple sub, and this perfectly works for that. I appreciate everything it's doing. It's not going out of its way to wow me, but I don't need it to all the time. If I'm recommending it, ultimately, I'm going to recommend, realistically, that you try to get to maybe a Jersey Mike's, or again, like a Penn Coast East Station Subs, or, folks, just look through my fucking, my playlist, There are better sub places out there, but doesn't mean that I think Jimmy John's is a terrible establishment by any means. Again, I think that they're fine. I just think they have their certain niche, and I think that this sandwich hits that niche. And I think if you just want a simple sub that you're going to get quickly for a little less than $10, sure. Anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Spectacular rest of the week. Monumental rest of the month. Stupendous rest of the year. Folks, you can go over there and have yourselves a truly ultimate porker-tastic rest of your life. And let's just get that out of the way. This sandwich, while good, was in no way, shape, or form the ultimate porker. Let's get that out of the way. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do all the time, I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me, I know it. I live it. I'm out there with you in it. At the end of the day, folks, we all have to go through stuff, stressful things, frustrating things. When we run into those situations, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe we're going to go over there. The time I'm doing this, I should have done a goddamn turkey sub, because the time I'm doing this, we're literally 1 day away from Thanksgiving. But I didn't think about it. It is what it is. There's not going to be like a Thanksgiving special, unfortunately. At the time I upload this, it will probably be the Sunday after Thanksgiving, so it is what it is. But, what with the holidays being what they are, we are firmly in holiday season, hopefully you're able to enjoy yourself in one capacity or another. I know, unfortunately, not everybody's able to do that for any multitude of reasons, but, just know that if you're watching this and you're watching my content, first of all, I appreciate that tremendously. And second of all, I really do, as a person, my heart really does go out to everybody who, has to deal with things like that. I have friends who sadly, have to kind of deal with unfavorable situations when it comes to the holidays. So I do really feel you, and I just want you to know that, and it's not just coming from a place of bullshit, I really do, empathize and sympathize on that level. But hopefully your holidays are great and all that good stuff, and you get to eat lots of good food. Who knows, maybe one day I'll go over there and I'll do a sampler platter Thanksgiving spectacular. Not this year. Bye!